Okay, good morning. So let's see, it's Wednesday, and yesterday's update I had mentioned when the market comes to the top, which the market did, all these, the Dow Jones gapped up, and so did the Russell. So this is the SPYs here, and this is the NASDAQ, and they've all gone pretty high, right at their very top, I would say. And so I just bought. I normally don't buy this early, but I just see this market because of the ES, which is up around 40 points. It could go up higher, of course, but I just see this as pretty close to the top. Um, so I normally wait for the market to settle down. So I check news, nothing big, nothing going on. So this market's just going up on, I don't know. It's not going up on anything. Traders are just trading it. So I think it's at its very top. If it goes up anymore, I think it's pretty much maxed out at this point. And like we talked about yesterday's update, if market goes up, I'm going to short it, and that's what I did. I bought some options right in here. Right, and this just did that a couple minutes ago. And markets are still going up a little bit, and that's okay because that's what they do early in the morning. They have to find their position. Sometimes they'll go up before they do that. So yeah, it looks like I pulled the trigger maybe a little bit early, but I feel like this market is very close to its top. So I'm going to let it bounce around a little bit and let's see what happens. I think it's eventually just going to come down pretty good. So I'll keep you posted. Okay, so the market is kind of just balancing out there. Like I said, the market could still go up. I did maybe jump the gun a little bit, but sometimes you can't be so rigid in your rules, and that's the thing about this game. It's if you're too rigid, then I think you're definitely going to lose, or at least you're going to just play this game of catch up, or just game of, well, pretty much that's it. Catch up. It's just going to keep bouncing around. You're going to try to keep catching it. So I'm just going to stay with this, and I'm going to see how this goes. Just want to point out, I have a really good feeling about this, and that's why I did that. I didn't get in because of anxiety or I thought that I was going to miss out. I got in because of yesterday's update. I had mentioned the market coming to the top would be perfect for a short, and that's exactly what the market did overnight, and it hit the top on all four indexes. I think it's a great trade. Okay, so a little bit over half an hour into this game, and market's trying to inch its way up. You can see that, except for the Russell's not buying it. To me, this market's got no business being up here. So you got to remember that this is a buy-sell game. That's it. It's about buying and selling. I know people do market analysis on stocks, and they try to see if the stock is making money, the company. It has nothing to do with that. I can't tell you how many times I've seen companies, their stocks go up, and the companies aren't making any money. In fact, they're losing. So what this game is about is buying and selling. If people are going to buy stocks or ETFs or whatever, they're going to buy them because they're interested in them. They don't care about whether the company's making money. Anyway, here we are. Market's struggling a little bit. It's trying to fight its way up. Again, this is a buy-sell game. Markets go up, you get people buying, and then they turn it around, and then all those people that bought, a lot of them they had to sell because now they're in a negative, and that's what this is about. And same with the opposite direction. The market goes down, people short it. It gets to a certain point, then it comes back up, and then those people hung on to their position. They didn't sell, and now they lost. So that's how this game is played. So my job is to find a for sure thing I believe this is a for sure trade, at least in a 90% range. I know I break the rules, but I pour a lot of money into this, and the market gets down to a certain point where I feel that it's right before it's going to turn around and retrace on a 5-minute chart, and then I sell, and then I'm done. So you got to remember, there's no absolutes in these markets. I draw these lines of resistance and support only as kind of like a basis, of something to maybe bounce off of, but no absolutes means that it can pass these a little bit and come down, or when it's coming down and my target is a certain support line, and it might not come down that far. It might come down to maybe 10 or 20% of that support line, and then turn around and go up. I can't tell you how many times I wanted this market to come down, hit that point, and get out, and of course the market turned around, went up, and then I lost. But too many times to even list. But now I don't do that. Now I just a lot of this, most of this is feeling, and you're going to get that feeling once you start trading a lot, because you're going to know these markets. Now, people that trade multiple securities, different securities, it's going to be hard for them to do that. It might take way longer, because what happens is this is all I look at. The ES, the NASDAQ, the Russell, and the Dow. That's it. That's all I look at. Of course, I look at the SPYs, but the SPYs pretty much piggybacks on the ES. And so I don't have to look at both of them. I don't have to have both on this chart. So when you do that, you get used to how these markets move. It's like they have their own personality. And this is like a group, and they all follow each other. And sometimes you have a leader. And right now it seems to be the Russell. Russell's been leading for the last year, a little over a year. And sometimes the NASDAQ or the Dow leads going the opposite way, short term. So Russell's more longer term, where the NASDAQ and the Dow seem to be more shorter term leads. Anyway, I think that's important to know, that you can't have absolutes. These lines, sometimes I take them out because they're just a distraction. And I can see that it's here only because that was the top of the markets. And so that's all it's telling me. It's a top. Doesn't mean that it can't come up a little bit more, because these markets can go past this point. Just like when you look at moving averages or the MACD, if they're overbought, oversold. I used to use those indicators, and the markets used to go overbought and thought, okay, time to sell, but then they would go into extreme overbought. And so it doesn't really help you out. That indicator's at most maybe 50%, and if you start relying on that rather than yourself, then eventually you're going to lose. Almost 2 hours into trading, so we'll see where this market goes. It's coming down. It has been coming down. Now it's retracing a little bit. So this retracement could be just another step for going up further, or it's just a simple retracement for going down. So we'll wait and see how this plays out. Right now it doesn't look like the Russell's following along with that retracement. And Dow Jones, it's coming up a little bit. So we'll see how this plays out. I still think today that these markets are going to come and fill this gap in here. So that's my plan for today. So we'll see what happens. So we're about 2 hours into the trading now, and so we got to keep in mind, larger time frame is we're in a bear market, but since we're trading on a 5-minute chart, we want to know what's going on that day. So we've got all these corrections on different time frames. So this looks like it's going up, but also it looks like it's hit a top in all different time frames. in the short and long time frame. And this market came from here to here, so the correction right here is healthy for it to go down. So we'll see. Now, if this market decides to go up further, then it's going to come up and break this line and go up. And then it's going to continue this trend up in the short term. So these are things that we got to watch out for. And even though I did say that this market is pretty much stretching it, it's at the top, it can stretch it even further. That happens with these markets. So yeah, that's part of the game. So I also noticed, like in yesterday's trade, the ES and the Nasdaq, at least in the short term, seem to be leading the way, and then the Dow and the Russell came in right after. So I'm not paying attention too much on these right now in the short term, because things switch around. Sometimes this will lead, and so you kind of follow a pattern. Now that pattern might only last for a few days or a few weeks, but for now it seems like, so I'm watching the ES and the Nasdaq closely, because these could be leading the way up if this market is deciding to go up. I also said before that I like to follow the Russell, because the Russell's been leading the way, and it's true, the Russell has been leading the way, but mostly in the long term and sometimes in the short term. But it seems like things have switched this week, and sometimes that happens for the short term. As far as the long term, the Russell's still leading the way down. But since this is a day trade, we have to pay attention to what's going on right now. And so far I see Nasdaq and ES so far this week have been leading the way. So we'll keep a close eye on that. All right, a little over 2 hours in trading. 3 hours, over 3 hours in trading. So the market came up and attempted to come up here, made a double top, and same thing with this is the ES, same thing with the Nasdaq, and the Dow Jones really didn't do very much, and Russell didn't fall long at all. I mean, it's just basically going down. So I don't know how many people actually stuck in there and just said, I need to get out because I feel like this market is going to go up, or some people just hung in there like I did. And also, just to let you know, I'm not sitting here watching these screens. I might peek at them every once in a while, but I'm doing a lot of stuff in the house, and yeah, I'm not glued to the screen. I don't need to be, because these markets aren't moving that fast. So I'm just doing my thing. And the reason why I mention that is you don't have to do that either. You don't have to watch every tick, because that's going to drive you crazy. And if you notice, I got rid of my alerts. I got rid of all my support and resistance line and my balance lines, because and my balance areas, because I don't want to focus on that. I don't want to focus on anything. I just watch these and see how they're going. Periodically I'll peek into it. But if I see those lines, those are distractions, and that's how I see indicators, as distractions. Also, different colors. This one, you'll see some red lines here and some green lines there. All these numbers on the side that people have, those are all distractions. And after trading for a while, you'll realize that you don't need any of that stuff. And when I say a while, I'm talking about people that have been trading for years, sometimes 10, 15, 20 years. Okay, so it's already 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So that's 3.5 hours of trading. So I consider this midday, and midday, when the market starts turning around, let's say it is turning around, it's coming down, there's a good chance that this can start coming down pretty heavy right here, because midday is usually, not always, but when markets do turn around, if they are going to turn around. So everything's looking good on the downside. Like I said, this still could turn around and go up. But for now, I'm hanging on my position, and so far everything looks pretty much on target. Okay, back at my computer again. Looks like we're 4 hours into trading. Market's trying to get up there. I still have my position. I'm at a loss right now, but I'm still not buying this uptrend. And it's trying to really push up. As I mentioned before, we're at pretty much the top. Now, of course, it could go higher, but you know, we're already there. If we were halfway between the top and bottom, then sure, this thing can keep going, no problem. Because the ES is only up 40 points. It can go up, you know, another 60 points if it wanted to. But I don't know, hanging on my position. I'm still not buying this. It's at the top of the market. So we'll just have to keep waiting and see what happens. So it looks like these markets might be turning around. So just keep in mind that even though it takes 4 hours, it's been taking 4 hours for the market to come up. In a bear market, it would only take 2 hours for it to go down. You know, usually half of that, even less than that. And then when it comes down, it can come down pretty hard. And that goes for all time frames, even 20-year time frames. You know, market goes up for 10 years, and then we have a crash. And it only takes a year and a half to 2 years to wipe out all of that. It's all that gain. So it's the same thing in the short term. Market takes 4 hours during the day to go up in a bear market, and it only takes 2 hours to go down. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so here we are, about 40 minutes left, and market has gone up a little bit further, and now it's coming down. So I've hung on to my position because I believe that this is the top, and I bought some option insurance. What that means is, I kind of made that up, is although it is a day trade, the insurance is that I buy the options far enough out to where, you know, sometimes it's just a few days or up to a month. And that means that if the market didn't do what I wanted that day, I don't have to get out. I can wait and then turn that more into a swing trade. If I buy options that expire, you know, 1 or 2 days, I can't really do that. 2 days maybe, but it's kind of short. But you know, if you buy it a week out and you believe that this market's going to turn around within a week, then that's what you can do. You can turn that into a swing trade. Then you don't have to stress so much, because if you're going to have to get out that day and the market keeps going up, you keep losing money, you're going to be stressed out. So that insurance takes the stress out of that. And so I'm still in my position. You know, if you look at the day, disregarding the overnight trading, everything gapped up, and the market really hasn't moved that much. Even though it says it's moved 50 points, it hasn't moved 50 points today. You know, it's only moved, let's see, it's only moved about 20 points. It's really nothing. You know, so these last 2 days haven't been getting a lot of movement out of this, and I'm just thinking this is ready to start coming down pretty hard. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. And like I said, I'm staying in my position overnight, and I'm going to see maybe tonight it starts heading down. So we'll see what happens. I believe we're at a top, or very close to a top, and the market needs to retrace, because that's how these markets work. It's a buy and sell game. So that's it for today. Again, I am still in my position. Yes, I'm at a loss right now, but I have my option insurance plan set to where I'm going to wait possibly tomorrow and sell out if the market goes down. And I think that it's getting close to that point where it's going to start going down. Okay, that's it. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.